Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Ashtottara Satasri Srimat His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Prabhupada Anuga Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nittai Gaura Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi, Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 40. Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpito Rumanaha Kritamanu Kritavatya Unmadandaha Prakritim Aghan Kilayasya Gopavadvaha. Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 40, The Passing Away of Bhishmadeva. Please repeat. Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpito Rumanaha Kritamanukೃತ Vatya Unmadandaha Prakritim Agan Kilayasya Gopavadvaha. Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpito Rumanaha Kritamanukೃತ Vatya Unmadantaha Prakritim Aghan Kilayasya Gopavadvaha. Lalita, attractive. Gati, movements. Vilasa, fascinating acts. Valguhasa, sweet smiling. Pranaya, loving. Nirikshana, looking upon. Kalpita, mentality. Urumanaha, highly glorified. Kritamanugritavatyah, in the act of copying the movements. Unmada andhaha, gone mad in ecstasy. Prakritim, characteristics. Agan, underwent. Kila, certainly. Yasya, whose. Gopavadvaha, the cowherd damsels. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Rajadama, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Rasa dance. Purport: by intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Rajabhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him in nuptial love, smiling at him in joke, and looking at him with a loving attitude. The relation of the Lord with Arjuna is undoubtedly praiseworthy for devotees like Bhishmadeva, but the relation of the gopis with the Lord is still more praiseworthy because of their still more purified loving service. By the grace of the Lord, Arjuna was fortunate enough to have the fraternal service of the Lord as chariot driver. But the Lord did not award Arjuna with equal strength. The gopis, however, practically became one with the Lord by attainment of equal footing with the Lord. Bhishma's aspiration to remember the gopis is a prayer to have their mercy also at the last stage of his life. The Lord is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified. And therefore Bhishmadeva has not only glorified the acts of Arjuna, his immediate object of attraction, but has also remembered the gopis who were endowed with unrevealed opportunities by rendering loving service to the Lord. The gopis' equality with the Lord should never be misunderstood to be like the Sayujya liberation of the impersonalist. The equality is one of perfect ecstasy, where the differential conception is completely eradicated, for the interests of the lover and the beloved become identical. Om Tat Sat Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanavitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading from Passing Away of Bhishmadeva. And this is Bhishmadeva offering his prayers. Stuti, Bhishma Stuti. before he passes away from his body. It is a very dramatic scene. It's a scene of heroism. It's a scene of great devotional love. It's a scene of affection and emotions of many, many family members. Because Bhishmadeva is so widely known, so well connected with the Kaurava family, with both the Pandavas and the Kauravas. And not only that, many others also. Because he's such a great hero, Mahajana, and a wonderful devotee. So it is a glorious passing away. But it is very amazing that he is on a bed of arrows and he is in a position where he is instructing Yudhishthira and his brothers about Rajadharma and also consoling him because Yudhishthira is very depressed. 640 million people have died in the war. 640 million. Like I mentioned to you, it is like half the population of India. They have died and he is thinking he is the reason for it. So he is very depressed. But it's mentioned that Krishna only created this depression in him so that he can bring him to Bhishma. So in this way he comes to Bhishma with his brothers all feeling very dejected. And Bhishmadev consoles them. And then he instructs Yudhishthira on Rajadharma, what he should do and what he should not do. And then after that, he introduces Krishna to them and says, don't think he's your cousin. Don't think he's your friend. Don't think he's your messenger who carried message to so and so. He is the supreme absolute truth. The Vedas speak about him. All the scriptures speak about him. He may be sitting here very quietly, watching and hearing, but don't think he is an ordinary person. In this way, he tells them who Krishna is. It is not that the Pandavas don't know. Now that Bhishma has also said, they come to know more intensely. Many things we know, but we don't actively know. When somebody else says, oh yeah, now I understand, oh my gosh, like that. But a familiarity, sometimes we don't take it very seriously, although we know. But when it comes in afresh, in a very different way, with deeper connections, comes from somebody whom you respect very much, then it inspires you more. So Krishna is being told, Yudhishthira is being told about Krishna by Bhishma. And then Bhishma, after finishing his duties, he decides to, now let me just meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he starts glorifying Krishna in front of Krishna. And then very beautiful verses describing Krishna as a great protector of his devotees, and he is passing comment on how Krishna protected Arjuna on the battlefield against my arrows. I was determined to kill Arjuna, and how Krishna protected Arjuna, because Arjuna is my dear friend, my devotee. So how Krishna was forced to show his affection for Arjuna and protect him on the battlefield because of Bhishma's attack. And Bhishma is speaking about that. How he protected Arjuna. How he jumped down from the chariot and was even willing to break his promise for the sake of his devotee. So wonderful Krishna is. I like him in this form, protecting Arjuna on the battlefield in his Kshatriya spirit. That form of Krishna he describes, Vijaya Ratha Kutumbha Atattotre Dhritahaya Rashmini Tat Shriyakshiniye Bhagavan ratirastu me mumushur yam iha niriksha hata gataha swarupam. This particular form. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle of rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. This way he is glorifying Krishna. And then he is switching suddenly and speaking about the gopis in middle. He's talking about the battlefield, that this is what Bhishma did. And then he switches and says, Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa. He's describing the gopis. All of a sudden. Why? Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Rajavadhama, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the rasa dance. In this purport, Prabhupada is saying the gopis had greater purified devotion. And Krishna did something for them which he did not do for Arjuna. Very important statement he makes. And Bhishma knows that, because till now he has been glorifying Arjuna and how Krishna is protecting Arjuna and Arjuna and Krishna's relationship. Then suddenly he is going to Vrajadhama and speaking about the gopis and how they were enamored by looking at Krishna and every movement he makes with his eyes, with his hands, with his face, with his glances, with his signs, with his gestures. And it was completely maddening to watch these things for the gopis. Gopis were maddened by watching Krishna and his features. They were like madly in love with Krishna. This we must know what it means. And Bhishma is recollecting that on the battlefield, on the bed of arrows. This person, he has got devotees like that. Like who? The gopis. He is, such a great, person. He can attract gopis. Why is he stating that? He is stating that to show that Krishna has got greater ranges of love. What I have seen as him showing love and affection for Arjuna and protecting him on the battlefield is one thing, but another is this high class, highly sophisticated, the gopis. Gopis' love for Krishna, Prabhupada mentions, is pure, unalloyed love. Simply love for Krishna. He said that they're not asking anything from Krishna. They are saying, I am yours. If it pleases you, you can use me the way you want. And they offer themselves to Krishna simply because they love Krishna. It's not, I'm not asking any favor from you. I don't want anything in return from you. I simply like you. That's all. And day and night I'm thinking of you only. And I'm absorbed in you. And for me everything is you. I don't know anybody else but you. Mat prana natastu saeva naparaha. I don't know anybody else but you. And I offer myself to you. Because what else is there to do in life anyway? This is the greatest thing to do. So they were the pinnacle of love, bhakti. And Prabhupada is very beautifully saying that they are not concerned about anything else. There is not an iota of anything material in their mind. It's completely based on love of Krishna. And Krishna, he rewards them by saying, I'll offer myself to you. I'll dance with you. I'll be with you. Because of your pure love for me. He decides and he tells them this in the Vastra Harana Leela. The Vastra, he takes off all their clothes and they come naked one by one and they bow down to Krishna under Krishna's order, and in this way, he becomes very pleased with a very simple offering. Then he tells them that I am very pleased with your love for me, and I will give you an amazing experience in the rasa dance. I'll dance with you. It's like Krishna is offering himself. Because you are offering yourself fully to me, I offer myself to you in a wonderful experience. That is recollected here by Bhishma. And he's saying that the gopis became, every motion and smile of love attracted the damsels of Raja. And Krishna disappeared in between the rasa dance. When he disappeared in between the rasa dance, they became totally mad. Because just now you were with us and we were enjoying that topmost ecstasy. Because you were personally with each one of them, he was present. With each one of the gopis, he was personally present. So each one of them thought, I am the person chosen. He's with me. And they were so absorbed in Krishna, they did not see around that everybody else has got Krishna with them. They were just absorbed in themselves. So to each one of them, he gave a personal association experience. And he disappeared all of a sudden. So they became mad. And they were imitating Krishna and acting. See, this is how he lifted the Govardhana hill. One gopi will lift the Govardhana hill like this, something, and stand. And then everybody will, get into that mood and say all sorts of things. Then they will say, this is how he killed Putana. This, and then this is how he killed Kamsa. This is how he did that. Everybody is sitting and relishing. They are all mad, actually. Literally mad out of separation for Krishna. That they are reenacting Krishna's pastimes. They are putting their clothes like that and then saying, how did you do that? I'll finish you. Kaliya, this is what I'll do to you. Each one is acting out. And they are totally on their own. They are absorbed. Gopis means absorption. 100% absorption, Krishna. From inside to outside. So that is being glorified here. And Prabhupada is saying that is a very high level of devotion. Very, very high level of devotion. So you will see that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will talk about people who are demons, who have no faith in Krishna, in God. Then he will talk about people who are pious. He will talk about those 4 Sukritina, who do Sukriti. That is Artho, Jignasur, Artharthi, Jnani, Chabartarshava. 4 types of people. The distressed, the inquisitive, the seeker of knowledge, like that. 4 of them. And he says that these are not bhaktas. They are just pious people. They know about Krishna. So they have come to Krishna for some material favor. It is not that they are devotees. They'll become devotees slowly. So Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita you will deal with people who are just going to become devotees. They're getting exposed. And then you will deal with people who are jnanis, who are self-realized, but still are not devotees. And Krishna gives hint about devotees in Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavatam we hear about such devotees at various levels. All sorts of devotees. The 4 Kumara, Shukadeva Goswami, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahalad, Prithu Maharaj, Chitraketu, like that. So many different types of devotees and how they develop their love for Krishna gradually. All this we'll hear in the Bhagavatam. But the topmost of all of them is the gopis. And so Bhishma also is referring to them. It's so wonderful the way it is described in the Bhagavat. The supreme love of the gopis, especially all gopis and all of them, including Bhishma, they are all filled with rasa. there is a relationship of rasa. There is a exchange of mellows between Krishna and them. That is why Krishna is attracted to them. Wherever there is some taste, some mellow, some relationship in bhakti, Krishna will come to enjoy it with that devotee. With that devotee. Jnana, karma, yoga and all does not attract Krishna. Only bhakti. Kevalam bhakti. So, you must understand that Bhishmadeva knows all these things. He knows the entire gamut of things happening, right up to pure bhakti in Madhurya Rasa, Shringara Rasa, which the gopis are performing. But he is attracted to the Lord as he is in this form, in this Swarupa, right? With the whip in his hand and with the reins of the horses in his hand and red eyes and angry with Bhishma for shooting. That form of Krishna, Bhishma likes very much. It seems Prabhupada says in the purport that Bhishma went to Parthasarathi Loka. There is a Parthasarathi Loka where Krishna is eternally speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna and on his chariot, and he's fighting a war and he's in this Virya, heroic form. So it's mentioned that Bhishma was enjoying Virya Rasa with Krishna. That's the type of relationship he had. He liked to see Krishna in the Kshatriya form with weapon. But unfortunately, Krishna promised that I will not lift weapon. So he said, I will fight in such a way, make you lift weapon and watch you in that form. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki. And so he fought in such a way that Krishna had to show that form to him. With bloodshot eyes. How he is. His Uttariyam is falling down and is running, holding the chariot wheel and ready to kill Bhishma. Swanigamam apahayamat pratigyam ritam adhikartum avaplutho ratastah dhritarata charano abhyaya chaladgur haririva hantum ibham gattottariya. Fulfilling my desire and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up his wheel and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped his outer garment on the way. It's mentioned here that he was like a lion attacking an elephant. Bhishmadeva that means categorizing himself to be elephant and Krishna to be a lion, coming at him with a chariot wheel, with bloodshot eyes. This is the form that Bhishma likes. He is happy in his position and the reciprocation he gets from Krishna in that position. And he also knows about the gopis. He also knows about Arjuna and his relationship with Krishna. So it is very interesting to note that Bhishma knows about all these different aspects of Krishna and his rasa he is enjoying with all the bhaktas. And he also knows that, but I like to see Krishna like this. And Krishna is reciprocating with me like that. He is capable of reciprocating with the gopis, with me, with Prahalad, with Dhruva, with Arjuna, according to what they want. Yayata mam prapadyante tangs tataiva bhajamiham. Right? Krishna can do this. That's why he is called Rasaraj Krishna. He is an enjoyer of rasa, of different tastes of devotion from different types of devotees. He likes to do that. It's like a bee goes to different types of flavors of honey. This flower will have this flavor. Drink that honey. Then go to this flower will have this type of flavor. It goes to all the different type of flowers and each honey is different flavor according to the flower. So different honeys the bee will taste. Brahmamara Ganeshachita Pado. We are glorifying Lord Jagannath like that in the morning every day. Jagannath Ashtakam. Brahmamara means bee. Going and enjoying the different aspects. So Krishna is like that, a bee. He goes and enjoys different types of flavors of honey from different devotees. Does not matter as long as it is devotion in whichever rasa. But everybody knows that the gopis rasa is the topmost. The gopis are the topmost of devotees, and Krishna is a very important statement. The beginning and the end Prabhupada makes. By intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Rajabhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord, but dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him in nuptial love, smiling at him in joke, and looking at him with a loving attitude. Then in the end, the equality is one of perfect ecstasy, where the differential conception is completely eradicated, for the interests of the lover and the beloved become identical. Prabhupada is distinguishing this from Brahma Sayujya Mukti, where you achieve oneness in terms of being spiritually one with the Lord. He's saying it is not the same as Sayujya Mukti. This is far, 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 far greater. This oneness is, they have become so much lovers of Krishna, so pure, that Krishna finds himself perfectly comfortable allowing them to enter fully and offering himself to them. If you don't have devotion, it is mentioned that mukti he will give easily, but bhakti he will be very careful about giving. This is a very nice shloka where Vidura and Yudhishthira are talking, and Vidura is telling, you have Krishna in your house as your cousin. You must know that it is very easy to get mukti, but to get the type of bhakti that you are having is very, very difficult. That Krishna is in your house and he is serving you. That, how will the Supreme Lord, the owner of everything, the source of everything, the most powerful, offers himself like this in service as a chariot driver, becomes a messenger of Yudhishthira, acts as the cousin of the Pandavas? How is it he is able to do that? It's because of their loving reciprocation. Because the Pandavas are so pure in their devotion to Krishna that Krishna will offer himself. Where there is bhakti, Krishna will offer himself without any feeling, according to the bhakti. So with the gopis, he offered himself fully to the gopis. That is why it is called oneness. The gopis were fully melted into that, because both together are enjoying love, bhakti. The gopis and Krishna together have understood, if we both cooperate in this, we both can enjoy. You will enjoy, I will also enjoy. This is called oneness of a different type. It's not Sayujya. It is oneness in devotion. It is oneness in the ecstasy of bhakti, in Sringara Rasa. That is to be understood. It is not the same oneness like people trying to achieve mukti. So, in one sense, we also are interested in Advaita, in oneness. Advaita, no two, only one. So, it is not that the gopis lose their individuality and become Krishna. No, in their intention of serving Krishna, they become one with Krishna. They become one with Krishna. This is a different type of oneness. It's a different type of oneness. That is being hinted at by Bhishma. It's a very, very top, high level realization. So, if you look at the gopis and their life, if you look at the gopis and how they related with Krishna and how eager Krishna was all the time to relate with the gopis. He always wanted to spend time with them, be with them, and enjoy their loving reciprocation. Why? Because they were so pure, completely pure devotees. And this is what Krishna revels in. So we are praying to Krishna, praying to Prabhupada, praying to devotees and Vaishnavas, that if we can get a small drop of the love of the gopis, and how we will become very successful in our life. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayora Dasa Dasanudasa. So, very simple minded, very pure, filled with love for Krishna, no material complication at all in their life. They are very happy, enjoying the best. Sometimes we think simplicity doesn't give us happiness. But actually, if you see the simplicity of Vrindavan Vasis, gopis, and how Krishna reciprocates with them, because of their simple love, you will be amazed to know simplicity is very, very rare. It is not common. Material simplicity may be common to some extent in some places. But sophistication, sophistry, complicated ways of doing things, the economy, money, name, fame, all that put together is nothing compared to this in terms of experience. But for all of them, they'll think, what is this great activity? Okay, he danced in the middle of the night with some unmarried girls. So what? Why is it so greatly spoken about? It's an illegitimate activity, and you guys are talking about it so much. We are sitting here and discussing what? The love affair of Krishna and the gopis. I am a sannyasi. What have I got to do with that? But we are talking at length about it. And the whole Bhagavatam is describing that Pancha Adhyaya. In 5 chapters, the Rasa Leela is described. Huge amount of description. Why? Because it is not something to do with the mundane stuff. It is the highest type of execution in realization, and the highest type of yoga. It is love of Krishna. And that's what the gopis have. So love is the greatest treasure, bhakti. If somehow or the other we can get a small drop of it, then our life is completely successful. So this is what we are looking for. This is what we are expecting in our association, and we are constantly praying to Krishna. This is the meaning life of a devotee. I am not up to the mark. A devotee never feels that I am great. The gopis never feel like that. As soon as they feel even a little bit, Krishna immediately checks them. As soon as they thought a little bit that I am having special attention, I am great, Krishna disappeared from them. And they became very depressed. So Krishna checks the pride of his devotees immediately, because he wants to preserve their devotion. Wants to preserve their devotion and the happiness and the great enjoyment that they get out of relationship with him. So it's all about relationships. And that is what Bhishma is speaking about. Our relationship with each other, our relationship with our family members and neighbors and acquaintances and this, that. And then we are also trying to establish a relationship with Krishna. And that is of paramount importance. A relationship with Krishna is of paramount importance. That's why Bhishma is speaking about it. All of a sudden, in the middle of the battlefield, he's lying on a bed of arrows. He's talking about gopis and Krishna. It's very strange for me. He's describing Arjuna, everything. Suddenly he speaks about the gopis and then again goes back to speak about, meditation on Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to give us this information about the exalted love of the gopis. Ramyakachit upasana vrajavadu vargena ya kalpita. This one in the verses of Lord Chaitanya's teaching tells us that highest type of love for Krishna is to worship Krishna the way the gopis worshipped. Ramyakachit upasana. Following the footsteps of Vrajavadu Vargena Kalpita. And where is this given? Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. This is the goal of life. Everybody should try to achieve this goal in life, the highest goal, the goal that the gopis have achieved. Right? That is the aim of a Vaishnava, a devotee of Lord Chaitanya coming in the line. He doesn't settle for anything less. He is led by Lord Chaitanya and he desires to have the topmost opportunity that Krishna is giving. To be devotees like the gopis. Be devotees like the gopis. Somehow we are very lazy in exercising that love. We, keep it pending. I am very busy with other things. All small time things, this and that, in this material world. We pay attention to, but the most important things, somehow we are not able to put our attention into that. How to develop our love for Krishna and how to move it up to the level of the gopis. There is nothing wrong in being ambitious to achieve that. There's not at all anything wrong. In fact, if you don't do it, something is wrong with you. After knowing all these things, if you don't do and desire, then something may be really wrong with you. So, Bhishmadeva, in his glory, before he is passing away from this body, he is recollecting Krishna's love for the gopis. And then he leaves his body. Krishna arranges to be in front of him so that he can feast his eyes on the beautiful form of Krishna. And after that is over, he goes back to Godhead. Krishna takes him back to Godhead. Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki. Any question or comment? Any question or comment? Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki.